I think many of the questions I've been hearing from my students, I teach half the year in India as well and here, and also particularly from Dalit, Bahujan young people, is they are very supportive of the direction that the Jodo Yatra is. In fact, so many of them participated. But the question that we get asked over and over again is, how will this translate into a political coalition? I think your vision is very powerful and persuasive and inviting. And I think that was what we saw in the Jodo Yatra, people from all walks of life. But I think everyone wants to know, well, how is this going to translate into a political alliance? How are we going to make this work in electoral politics?
If you look at the Karnataka elections, the general sense is, oh, the Congress party fought the BJP and defeated the BJP. But what is not well understood is the mechanics that we used. And we used a completely different approach to fighting an election, a completely different approach to building a narrative, and elements of what happened in Karnataka came out of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. If you look, for example, pretty much all poor voters in Karnataka, across the board, voted for the Congress party. And one of the central elements that we are dealing with in India, and I think we're dealing with in the United States, is the massive difference between rich and poor. Few people who have almost unlimited wealth, and then millions and millions of people who are struggling. The concept of the Bharat Jodo Yatra and sort of the message of the Bharat Jodo Yatra is that poor people can mobilize. And they can mobilize very effectively and very powerfully. I said, I made the differentiation between power and force. What was really interesting to me was once we started walking, and we decided we were going to walk right from, Kanyakumari to Kashmir, the entire force of the Indian government was on us. Mm-hmm. The entire media was on us. Everybody was pushing that this thing is not going to work, it's going to fail, it's going to be a useless endeavor. Nothing they could do, no amount of force could shift this thing. And we realized that within the first 2-3 weeks, people would come to me. It's like a belief thing. People would come to me and say, "Aap kahan tak chaloge? And where will you walk to?" I said, "Look, I don't know. I have no idea where I'll walk to, but I'll go as far as I can." I could see the media guys, even the media guys sitting in the van in front of us, they couldn't transmit what they wanted to transmit. It was just physically impossible for them to do it. Mass mobilization, particularly for an extended period of time, binds people in a way that's very, very powerful.
So in Gujarat, a group of Muslim fishermen have petitioned the court for mass euthanasia because they're unable to make a livelihood. There have been similar issues of economic boycotts of Muslim vendors in Delhi as well as in UP. Of course, all of these issues have exacerbated under the BJP and RSS, but these are not new issues for lower caste and lower caste Muslims. So how do you concretely plan to address these economic as well as deeply sort of fractured social issues for lower class and lower caste Muslims specifically?
People from all communities face these problems. So yes, Muslims face them, tribals face them, Dalits face them. In our last manifesto, we had the idea of a floor, an economic floor, which is the idea of nyay, right? A minimum income to every Indian. I think that's quite a powerful idea. The other thing, of course, is things like Manrega, supporting architecture, both in the rural and urban area. There are a lot of ideas we have to provide a floor below which people can't fall. And I think that's one element of it. Of course, you have to figure out the other side, which is what the lady was talking about, employment, production, economic growth so you can finance that.